Lyndy, welcome to Cap Talk. It's really great to meet you today and have you to ride with me through Joburg.
Thank you very much for having me.
On this beautiful spring day.
It is.
Thankfully, winter is over.
Yes.
Now, very, very weak economic numbers out this year. Weak economic GDP numbers out in the first quarter. It showed that the economy actually contracted, and anemic growth reflected in the second quarter GDP results. And your survey also paints a kind of bleak picture in a way. Tell us about what your survey is saying about job prospects for the fourth quarter of this year.
Well, our survey is saying that for the last quarter of 2014, we're expecting a net employment outlook, as we refer to, of plus 7%. Now, it's not very high, and it's 1% lower than it was for quarter 3 of 2014, but 3% higher than it was for the same quarter last year. So what we're saying is it's cautiously optimistic.
3% higher, but is that taking into account job losses as well? Is it coming off a high base or low base?
It's coming off a very low base. Obviously, last year we were plus 4, so even our score of plus 7 is not very high. That's why we refer to cautiously optimistic outlook. Because when you compare it globally to a country like India, who's forecasting a plus 46% growth. So ours is very low, but it's in line with our economic growth and forecast.
But stronger growth prospects in the agricultural sector.
Correct.
That's what the employers are saying.
That's what
they want to hire in that sector.
Correct.
And in mining and quarry and in some other primary commodity sectors.
Correct. If we look at the reasons why, agriculture obviously goes into its seasonal harvesting. So obviously we'll see a growth there. Also, there's been increased tourism, especially in the game hunting section. From a transport, storage and communication sector, IT sector has caused growth there. And as well as the transport that's opened up to the SADC countries, who are now second biggest exporter. So with that opening up transport, that creates more job opportunities as well. And mining and quarrying might seem strange in the light of where we've come from, but we also it also could refer to specialist skills and not just your general mine work.
Because there's talk of mechanization going forward, mining companies not wanting to hire, etc. Now you are saying employers overall, about 800 employers that you interviewed?
750 employers.
750 that you've interviewed have indicated that they're cautiously optimistic. But as you mentioned, in particular with regards to the agricultural sector, we're talking about seasonal fluctuations.
Correct.
So overall, it does look bleak if you're talking about 7%.
7% overall, that's why I said it's very low,
And
especially if you compare it globally. Yes, absolutely. But also remember, we're heading to quarter 4 of our fiscal year is also when things start dying down in terms of South Africa and the holiday periods and things like that. Whereas if you compare it overseas, their December is not their quiet period as opposed to South Africa.
Yeah, but when it comes to retail, it's our busy period.
Correct.
And consumers spend money, and then there might be some seasonal jobs that will be added on during that period. I think what is the optimistic part about the survey? I find optimistic is that 85% of your respondents indicated that there wouldn't be any change in their payroll through to the end of the year. That means 85% of the companies will not be cutting jobs, basically.
That's exactly that. So that's why we end up with a very low outlook, because only a few sectors are anticipating an employment increase. What is encouraging, though, in terms of our survey for this last quarter is that all sectors and all regions are predicting positive outlook, even though they're low. So a negative outlook would indicate that they're going to be cutting jobs. So no one's indicated at this stage that they plan on cutting jobs, even though the growth is low.
Yeah, I think South Africans are scared because of the low economic growth, because if you have low growth, it means lower job prospects. Even people that are employed, would be a bit nervous about this, because it means that, you're staying in the same job, and what are your prospects to move around a bit and be a bit more mobile?
Absolutely, but at least it's saying we're not going to be cutting jobs.
Exactly. Yeah. What I find very interesting is that the Western Cape, employees in the Western Cape, are a lot more optimistic. And in Gauteng is the economic hub, we all know that, and jobs prospects are lower in Gauteng. Usually South Africans move to Gauteng because they think there are more jobs in this province.
The reason being is that the Cape area is very much as a services industry. There's been a lot of foreign investment, especially in terms of the call center business, and with foreign investment comes employment opportunities. Yes. They've had a lot of initiatives to create jobs, such as the Cape IT initiative. They've also spent money training people in the skills that are relevant to the shortage of skills that we have, so that once these people have been trained, they've been able to successfully place them into companies. So they've had a very focused approach that has actually worked. And as I said, the foreign investment in terms of call center business has been hugely advantageous in terms of creating jobs in the call center space.
And we know that South Africa is still attracting a lot of foreign tourists to the country.
Absolutely,
as well.
Yes.
And Cape Town's a big tourist
Exactly
attraction as
that,
well.
yes. So there would be that opportunity as well.
Tell us about the relevance of the survey, because there's a lot of surveys out there and all of them are relevant because it gives you indicators of economic trends. How is this relevant also to the global economy?
I think this Manpower survey that is not only done locally, it's done across the 80 countries that Manpower exists from a global point of view. And I think it's different in other surveys in that it's predicting, looking forward. A lot of our surveys that we see, give us information of what's happened in the past. This is giving us an indication of what's going to happen in the future, which helps employers, helps employees where they should be looking if they're looking to move in terms of job prospects.
The other thing, when it comes to the stronger prospects for jobs in the agricultural sector, etc., mining and quarrying, we're seeing that there's a demand still for low-skilled jobs.
Correct, but there is we sit in such a strange
So if
situation.
you're semi-skilled or high-skilled, that leaves you where?
No, but you need to have a look at it overall. I mean, we sit in a country where we've got a high level of unemployment, yet a very high level of skill shortages.
Yeah.
So we definitely
this is a problem. Skills development is a problem.
We need to be fair, but not just any qualification. That's why it's so important that the educational institutions are working close with business, so that we're producing students or graduates that are experienced and have qualifications that are relevant to the skills that are actually to the job opportunities that are actually out there. And that's our problem, because we do have a lot of unskilled people, but we can't use them because they haven't got the relevant skills for the skill shortages that we sit with. So yes, we have high unemployment, but at the same time we have a skill shortage situation in South Africa. So skills development is hugely important to correct the situation.
Thank you so much for your time today.